Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the SWR Darts Coaching Podcast. Me, Sean, JDC Level 1 qualified darts coach and an accredited site right darts coach. Coming to you today from my little holiday. I thought I'd do something different. So out for a morning walk. And this episode, it's something that I spoke about on previous episodes, to be fair, and hopefully for episode 10, my aim is to get another coach on. So I spoke to a fellow JDC and site right coach. He's willing to come on and share his thoughts and experiences of what I want to talk about really in this podcast, and that is the community. And when I say the community, I mean, the darts family on social media, if you will. The perception and view of us as darts coaches. Now, when I say that, I don't just mean us that are JDC coaches. There's plenty of us now across the UK, qualified level 1. There are 6 of us that are site right accredited darts coaches. There are darts coaches who are, ex-pro players who have played at the high echelon of the game. There are darts coaches that are solely based on social media. And obviously then you've got your players on TikTok who are offering tips, advice, help and guidance. So I want to sort of bundle it all together in one episode really. Now before I start, I'm not knocking anyone at all. That is not the intention of this podcast. So, everyone throws darts differently. We know that. The game would be boring if everyone threw the same. There are ways within your mechanics that you can get better with your throw. You can get better with your mechanics. I always talk about the building blocks. So, the building blocks for me, we start with the stance. So how you get your feet set. Moving away from that then, we move into the biomechanics. So how you're throwing the dart, how you're releasing the dart. And obviously within all that as well, we've got to make sure that the dart's right for us. Firm believer, the dart finds you, you don't find the dart finds you. But we've got to make sure that the dart's good for us. The setup's good. The grip, the release. Now all these things do come together and that then creates your throw, your routine, your mechanics, if you will. So I post a lot on Facebook. I do a bit on Twitter. I don't tend to do a lot on Instagram. However, a couple of weeks ago, I put a post out there, and it was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek post. I won't lie about that. And what the post said was, "Oh, these darts aren't going right for me. I tell you what, I'll spend another £50 on another set of darts and see if they throw any better." And my reply to that was, or could I spend £50 on a darts coaching lesson with me here, SWR Darts Coaching, or with another coach, depending what they charge, and get the advice and the guidance that I'm looking for from someone who is qualified as a JDC Level 1 darts coach, but also an accredited site right coach, so we can make sure that you're sighted right. And it blew up, as it always does on Facebook. Comments coming in like, "Oh, you can't coach darts. I've looked you up. You've never won anything within the game of darts. How can you class yourself as a darts coach?" And it got me thinking that there is this perception out there that to be a darts coach, you've had to have played at the higher echelons of the game. Now, yes, there are players out there, and I won't name them, who have played at the higher echelons, offer darts coaching, and offer very, very good darts coaching, might I add. But then there's us, who are darts enthusiasts, maybe you might class us as, but we spent the time, the research, the money in some instances as well, to get more understanding of the game, to offer a better understanding of the mechanics, of the way and means to approach the hockey, approach the game of darts. And we get knocked back due to the fact that we've never played the game at a higher level. And I know it's not just me. So, as I talked about in episode 8, when we were away on the Sight Right course, spent a bit of time with the other coaches, and we were all getting the same sort of feeling that perhaps the darts community hasn't yet opened up to us as darts coaches. Now, on average, apart from this week when I'm away on holiday, on average, I probably coach 10 to 12 juniors in one-to-one sessions a week, not including my darts academy. Otherwise, probably about the same. Some weeks it can be a little less. I have had a week where I think I coached 20-something players in a week. So people are looking at this darts coaching. However, I spoke to a player a couple of weeks ago. He's an ex-PDC player, so he's played at the top level. He was a tour card holder. And he's been going through, shall we say, a sticky patch within the game. So I said to him, well, listen, come down. Come have a one-to-one with us. We'll have a chat. We'll review your game. And we'll look to get your sight righted, make sure that you're throwing off your optimum, dominant eye, etc. And we'll look to see what we might be able to put into your darts game. And the player turned around to me and went, no, you're all right. What have you done to help me? And it got me thinking, it's a fantastic point. He's been higher up the darts level than I've ever been, or I will ever probably likely to. But I've spent 2.5 years now studying the game, studying the mental side of the game, sitting down with sports psychologists to talk about the mental side of darts, working obviously with the JDC on the fundamentals and the basics of the game. The sight right, as I spoke about in episode 8, what a fantastic tool the sight right is. Used correctly and helped by a coach, you can get really good results from that. And it was that feeling that he doesn't want to go and say, I've been working with a darts coach, but could I help his game? Possibly. I'm not going to stand here and say I will. Okay, I'm not that arrogant. But I think I could help his game a little bit. There's certain aspects within the game I feel that I could work on with him. Temperament, board management perhaps. The way he's approaching the hockey. Is he approaching it in a straight line, for instance? But it's that feeling again that darts coaches, not quite sure about that. So let's break away from that for 1 second. And I want to put it into a broader spectrum here. I've always talked about it, football. I used to come from a footballing background. I know for a fact that if I worked my way up to the highest possible coaching level I could get to, and the Man City job became available, could I go in for it? I could. Would I get it? No. Let's say a football team in League 2. Would I get it? No. Why? Well, the reason why I won't get it, in my opinion anyway, is because I lack that playing at the higher level. I may have the same badges as, say, the great Pep Guardiola, but I wouldn't get that job because I've never been at the higher echelon of the game. It's the same in football as in darts. Now, we look at snooker, for instance. I've got a couple of friends who are really good snooker coaches. Never played at that higher echelon. And I apologise if the audio's not coming out too well at the moment, because the wind has just really picked up. I'm walking along the beach in the morning. But yeah, going back to snooker coaches. I know snooker coaches that have worked with some of the best players in the game. Mark Selby, for instance. Judd Trump. But these guys have never played on the bays at the big venues, the Crucible. But they are respected in snooker as snooker coaches and doing what they do. Whereas in darts, if, for instance, let's say a top 32 player started coming to me for coaching, working with me for coaching, got himself from, say, the bottom end of the top 32 to maybe around the 16th, 18th position, would he promote me? Would he say the reason I'm here is because I've been working with a darts coach, SWR darts coaching? Be interesting to find out. I stand my ground as well. I think I said it in the last podcast, and I know I've been vocal about it on social media, that I feel by about 2026, 2027, you'll start hearing a lot more about coaches within darts with the players on stage. I think that's definitely going to happen. Because players are looking to get that next level. And that next level could come from a coach. It could also come from the sports psychology side of it. So look at Dimitri van der Merwe at the UK Open. Supposedly, the antics, as people called it, when he got his bottle of water, put his hand in his pocket, stared out at the crowd. That was what his sports psychologist has been telling him to do, to calm himself down, to get that adrenaline down, to get the heart rate down. Would I advise that? Yeah, I probably think I would. I don't think I'd advise putting your hand in your pocket, staring out to the crowd. But I'd certainly advise getting himself prepared, ready. And how could I do that? Well, simple as when the players come off stage, they come into the green room and they're behind the stage, as it is normally. And I would stand there and talk to him. Probably just talk about maybe a checkout he's missed. But again, just saying, listen, calm yourself. Let your breathing. Take control of your breathing. That's the role of a coach. Football, you send 11 players over that white line on a Saturday afternoon, Sunday morning, whenever you manage. And then players you send over that line, you can't do any more. Once they've gone over that line, it's up to them to do the job. I can guide them. I can help them. I can advise them. Darts coaching. I can help them. I can guide them. I can advise them. I can't throw the darts for them. But that's what coaching's about. So all these people that are saying on social media, no such thing as darts coaches, you can't coach darts. Well, yes, you can. Because darts is a precision sport. We know this. We know it's a precision-based sport. A milli either side of that treble 20 bed, and your game's not going to be going as quickly in the direction as you want. So we can coach that. We can help you with that. Are your mechanics right? Okay, right, we're looking at that. Or there's a twist coming out in your wrist maybe, or your elbow's dropping. Something. We can then look at that. We can work on that. That's the role of a coach. Darts mentor is another word I've used recently. Okay, I'm working with some players at the moment that I like to say I'm mentoring. They're young players. I've got high hopes for them, as they've got high hopes for themselves. But I'm starting to mentor them. I'm trying to get them to be the best version of themselves on that hockey as they can be, via me coaching them, offering them help, offering them guidance. So, we all know what social media can be like. We have to respect that. But just start looking at what we are trying to achieve. Now, TikTok is something new to me. It's something new as a social media platform, really. I think it's only been about a couple of years. But I look over TikTok quite regularly. And I see people on there saying, this is how you need to throw. This is what you need to do. Do I agree with the advice? Sometimes. Do I disagree with the advice? Sometimes. But these people are giving these advice and tips because that's how they play. And that's what you'll find a lot of the times, is that a player will give you advice on how they play. So go back to the late 90s, if you will. Yes, I am that old. I can even go to the 80s, but I didn't play darts in the 80s. But go back to the late 90s. If you were struggling with your game, the chances are you would turn around to your captain on your team, who normally would be older than yourself, shall we say, and you'd ask them for advice. And they would give you the advice based on their game. Us as coaches, from the JDC level 1 perspective, and also sight right, we would offer you advice based on research. My throw's a little bit off. Why is it a bit off? Well, let's have a look. Okay, looks like this could be happening. Yeah, look at it on a video. This is happening. So at that point then, we could tweak that, and help you get a better throw mechanic from it. Whereas the captain in the pub back in the 90s might just tell you to have an extra pint and just stand in the middle of the hockey and throw them and just be confident. Best advice I ever got given when I first started playing by an ex-BDO player. Just hit the treble 20, just hit the 20 bed, sorry. Steady 60s will win you the game. I like it. Would a steady 60 win me the game today? A pub league? Possibly. Depending on the level of the pub league. ADC events? Doubtful. Higher echelons of the game? Not a chance. But that advice was great advice. And I think this is what we've got to look at. The advice that's been given out there, some of it is fantastic and some of it is very valuable. But some of it might hinder your game a little bit. So this isn't an advert for me to say, only go to darts coaches. Qualified JDC level 1, sight right accredited darts coaches. That's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is, if you want to invest in your game, look at getting some darts coaching. Greg from Northern Ireland, who runs the Carrickfergus, I hope I've pronounced that right, Junior Darts Academy over there. He's just set up Castle Darts. So he's set up now as a coach. Same as myself, JDC level 1, sight right accredited. And there's a great line he uses, his strap line. Invest in yourself, invest in your game. And I think it's fantastic. Because if you want to get somewhere within the game of darts, you need to invest in yourself and your game. And as I started this podcast and I said, that doesn't mean going out and buying another £50 set of darts. That means getting someone who spent time, money and research looking into the game to give you the advice that might just help you take that next step up. So, thank you for listening for episode 9. Really appreciate it again. I hope the sound quality's come out all right. I just thought I'd record this in one take, really, as I'm walking along the beach. Episode 10, we're going to have another fellow coach on. If you've got any questions you would like to ask, either myself or the other coach that's coming on, drop them in the comments. Drop us an email, info@swrdartscoaching.co.uk. Find us on Facebook and X, and yeah, I am on Instagram, TikTok as well. Drop us a message. We'll ask the questions. I'll put the questions out to the other coach. We'll get his version of the answer. You'll get my version of the answer. 2 coaches on a podcast. That's what we're looking to do in the next one. Obviously, I'm only on Spotify. I'm not on the other platforms. Maybe I'll look at that one day. But please follow us here on Spotify. Okay? Drop us a follow so you get notified when the next episode goes live. I'm trying to record one a month. Thank you very much for listening. And I'll speak to you on the next one. And just keep enjoying your darts.